sometimes many things come on our way in our life. Sometimes it is part of our day-to-day life. Sometimes occasionally things come on our way, and people have different priorities to attend to the things. So in a way, the difference between individuals, difference between us, is difference in the priorities we give, priorities we have in our life. Now, what is priority could be? That for which we are able to compromise every other thing. Then we can say that is our priority. If you compromise that with everything which happens, then it is part of your life, but it may not be the priority. So most of the time for people, their principles in life, their spiritual practice, their good habits about their spiritual life, every now and then we compromise with that. Could be there are few people who doesn't compromise at all, but most of the people, for some reason, sometimes in the name of uh, unavoidable situation, or sometimes work, sometimes responsibility, this and that, and we do compromise with our practices or our ideal. So there are many incidents in the life of ordinary people, common people, where it practically is a struggleful life to give supreme priority to the spiritual practices or the religious life or something. In a way, I personally classify these priorities into two. One is priority according to your age, and that should be the common sense. What priority you had when we were young, if the same priorities we want to give at the grown up age, then it will look like childish. So to behave according to our age and to be matured socially, emotionally, spiritual maturity is very different thing. It comes after practices, and sometimes very young people are spiritually matured. That's why, Ramakrishna Order, nobody can join after the age of 28. If you are 35 years old and want to join, it has to be an exception. And the authorities will have to sit together and see why it was late, etc. Otherwise, by maximum by 28 years of age, we are supposed to, whoever wants to join the order as a monk can join. Because the priority is such. If you don't give priority to your spiritual practices in as early as possible in our life, because in advanced age, not that physical ailments will kick in, physical ailments will start Physical ailments come at any time, but your body becomes old enough so that the physical zeal and capacity to do spiritual practices, sometimes we lose it. So it is said in our Vedas, Yuvaiva dharmashilo syat. One should be religious or spiritual right from the young age. Though there is nothing that you cannot start at advanced age. Whenever you come to know about, you can start. For example, as an organization, I told that 28 is the age limit. But in one of our Upanishads, it is said, which is the time for renunciation, which is the time to renounce. Yadhareva virajet, tadhareva pravrajet. When the vairagya comes in, when the renunciation comes in, that is the time to leave. That is the time to enter into retired, semi-retired, full retired type of life, where spiritual life becomes our exclusive pursuit. Even after leaving the hearth and home and becoming monk, many of us believe that after certain age, to do work is not an issue, but to take the responsibility and to worry about the worldly matters for the sake of organization, that too many people want to give up. As Ramakrishna says in case of householders, that hold God by one hand and hold the world by another hand. After a certain age, give up it and holding on to God by both the hands. So, whichever way we want to interpret it, but for monks also it is equally same. When you do work with responsibility, you have to worry about many things, about the people, government issues, and so many things. So some monks feel that after certain age, 70, 75 or whatever, exclusively, if their nature is meditative, exclusive to live on spiritual practice and study of scriptures. So one priority, as I told, is this, that according to your age, if you are in the world, if you are in the family life, there also you have priorities. And you have to perform that. You cannot get rid of that. But to do the same is not, doesn't seem to be that correct. That's why we have this varnashrama dharma, ashrama dharma, varna dharma and ashrama dharma. There is a student life, there is a householder's life, there is a semi-retired life, there is a retired life, and there is complete withdrawal. Sannyasa is withdrawal. Sannyasa is samyak nyasa, to renounce or to give up. To give up may not be in form of the monks give up, but in terms of withdrawing yourself. Once the children are grown up, when they start earning, when they start their own family, at that time it is high time for the people, householders, to take a back seat and being with them, that I'm here, slowly handing over everything, and whenever my need is there, I'm here to help you. When the grandchildren start growing and become individual, then the grandparents should be completely withdrawn for spiritual pursuits. Swami Yatishwarananda, the writer of this great book, Meditation and Spiritual Life, many of you would have read it. He used to say that after becoming old also, in 70s and 80s and all that, still a person want to behave like a romantic young man. To have youthfulness in your nature is good, but if the priorities remains of a young man in an old man, that is pathetic. Many times you will find that we ourselves, we express that heaven and hell, everything is here, is not somewhere else. Which could be the greatest of hell is that I have so many desires, but my body has no capacity to enjoy. When body doesn't have capacity and desires are so strong, that discomfort is a kind of hell. I want to eat sweet, but I have diabetes, I cannot. So a kind of conflict between your desires and the body, everything you can interpret in this way. So priority according to age is one priority. And the other priority could be, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your station in life, that remains the main priority. That is spiritually oriented life. That's what the traditional Indian life used to be once upon a time. That the religious ceremonies and religious practices were designed in such a way that throughout your life, you choose your way of life. It's fine. You choose to remain single, you want to get married, you want to become a monk. All are different ways of living your life. Greater could be, there could be one way of life which could be great. One could be best way of life, which is individual's life. That is best for you. One could be the most important way of life. These are all different things. An ideal way of life, the important way of life, the greatest way of life, and the highest way of life. How it can be four different kinds of choices. Sannyasa, it's called Charamashrama, is the greatest of the four ashrama, sannyasa ashrama, which everybody is supposed to have in their life. You may not take ritualistically sannyasa, that's fine. But this detachment and withdrawal, that can be practiced by anybody at any place, in any ashrama. So sannyasa is called Charamashrama, but Grihastha is called Pradhana Ashrama, because it is the Grihasthas who look after the monks also, the brahmacharis also, and the vanaprasthis also. Those who are householders, for example, parents, they earn money, look after their children, look after their parents also. So grandparents and grandchildren are looked after by the generation in between. And out of your social commitment, you look after those who have renounced also. You are in a place, Thailand is a place where you must have seen, you are more aware about it than me, that thousands of bhikshus could be there, Buddhist monks could be there, and people feel so blessed if they are able to give little bhiksha to them. There are ceremonies, there are ashramas, and everything. So, sannyasa is charamashrama. Charam means the highest. But the greatest is called Grihastha Ashrama, because they nourish all the three other ashramas also. Brahmacharya Ashrama, Vanaprastha Ashrama and Sannyasa Ashrama. All the three are looked after by Grihastha Ashrama. But Brahmacharya Ashrama is the foundation. So importance is there. All the relative importance of all the ashramas are there. So priority according to the station in life. Priority according to where you are. A student, this is what happens in the modern time. You will find children who are 12 years, 15 years, start relationships and all that. Because of that, what happens? They lose their concentration in study. Then lower down the ideal somehow to make money, and then some of them adopt some negative ways to survive. So there is a Brahmacharya Ashrama exclusively preparing the foundation, not only education. You know, at the age of 7 or 8, the boys used to given Yagnopavita, Janev Poite, so that they start praying to the sun god, that as the sun is so effulgent, the prayer is the same, that make my intellect also so bright that I can understand the subtle truths of the reality, subtle truths of my life. Tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi. Varenyam bharga, your rays are adorable. Savitu, Savita, Savitri is the word. Savitri is the sun. So Gayatri Mantra is a prayer to the sun god that, O sun, as you are so bright, your effulgent light, I want to meditate on Dhyo. Dhiya means buddhi, intellect. Na means ours, prachodayat. Make our intellect sharp enough, bright enough, so that we can understand the truth. And this prayer is done in the Brahmacharya Ashrama so much, every day repeating Gayatri Mantra. And Gayatri Mantra is repeated right up to your Vanaprastha. In Sannyasa Ashrama, there is a renunciation of Gayatri Mantra. We are supposed to renounce Gayatri Mantra because its purpose is fulfilled if you have reached that state. So in our case, where we take this Anushtanika Sannyasa, as you know, some of you may have known it, that sannyasa are of two types. One is called Vividisha Sannyasa. You take sannyasa to realize God. And one is called Vidvat Sannyasa. After realizing God, automatically everything falls away from you. So it becomes a spontaneous renunciation. He doesn't try. Renunciation becomes very spontaneous and natural for him, for her. So that is the ultimate priority from the day one of your life. You know, Bengalis are very, other places practice is not that much. Eh? You after 6 months, many couples will come and say, Maharaj, Annaprashan, my child will start eating rice from today. So they come to temple and we tell them to prepare little payasam, and any of the swamis will feed the child. Because it's auspicious. The child was still dependent on mother's help. But now he will be independent in eating. So that's a big leap in child's life. So they want to start in auspicious way that a monk or a priest or grandparents or great grandparents, somebody who is respected, will feed the child. The same couple will come again after 1 year or 1.5 years. Maharaj, today is Vidyarambham Hate Kodi. So the child starts writing. Child comes in contact with the language. Because language is very important. That is another topic sometimes we shall discuss. Language, what we use, most of you, rather all of you will be knowing this, that Swami Ranganathanandaji was our 13th president. Ranganathanji in his young age, when he was 8 years or 10 years, while misunderstanding with some other boy, he told a simple, maybe kind of a bad word, and his mother came to know. So mother is the first teacher. So his mother told him, my son, your tongue is a place for Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to sit on your tongue. It's up to you. You want her to sit there, or you want all the filthy words to sit on your tongue? So if you want Goddess Saraswati to sit on your tongue, never ever use any word which is hurting or harmful to people. Ranganathanji told that was the first time and probably the last time he ever used any such word. You see, a person who has hardly studied his matriculation, he has never gone to any college except later on he went to give discourses, lectures. He never went for study. He studied only up to certain class 8 or 10 or 9 or something. Non-metric we say in India. Under matriculation. But with the grace of Guru, grace of the great people, and he was selected to use him, to be used by Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji especially, to preach their words and teachings. So this priority, which is a permanent priority, is a eternally same priority in everybody's life. Some people give by grace of God, as I told again, and with the merits of the parents, punya of the parents, and also his own punya, that in a very young age, you come in contact with a great sangha like ours, read little some books and get inspiration, and by grace of God and little punya karma of one's own, are able to give up and change the course of life and join the order, etc. But whether you join the order or not is a different thing. But the spiritual priority, that what last Sunday I was talking in my class, that it is very important for parents to read and know, because then only you will be able to pass it on to the next generation up to a certain extent, which you cannot, and which books and concepts which have inspired you to lead a certain kind of life, at least make those books, make those concepts available in your place for your children, so that when you have read it, your children will one day may pick up the book and see what it is inside and why my parents did what they did. So the spiritual priority to lead a spiritual life, which should be common. But everything is not the same in the life of everybody. So those who are blessed, they come in contact with this huge reservoir of knowledge and wisdom, which is scriptures, great tradition, and the great bunch of literature. We come in contact with that. Many times when we talk, some people say, oh, nobody speaks this to us. I never knew it, which we knew when we were children. So, credit goes to our parents that you keep the things available. If your child see the picture of Sri Ramakrishna from the very childhood, then it is very natural for child to be attracted by this personality. So in the beginning, the child may behave in a childish way, or childlike way. But when he grows up, it is your duty to make him understand or make him read the simple life and teachings and understanding the different concepts slowly according to the age. That's how generation to generation this is passed on. We are in this age where books are there. Nowadays, soft copies are there. The audio copies are there. Earlier time, nothing was there. Even books were not there. There was no printing technology. Somebody has written down something. If you want, you make a copy of that. That also on the bark of the tree or something, because paper was invented much later. Think of those great souls without paper, without writing skills, without printing. For centuries, these people have kept the secrets of the scriptures available for the next generation. And remember, it is not one person. Generation after generation has done this great work. When the printing technology came, that generation was able to print. Before that, there was no printing. I have a copy of one book. You like it, you write down. You copy down the whole book. That was the practice. And people's intelligence or intellect was so bright because the distraction was not that much. Maybe I do not know what could be the reason. But the whole Vedas, they used to chant, and Guru to Shishya, that Vedas used to be heard and remembered and spoken to the next generation. That's why Vedas are called Shruti, that which is heard. Vedas were never written, Vedas were uttered. So the seniors uttered, and you sometimes you will find, you go to YouTube also, you can find that it is not repeated. Okay, if I repeat one mantra, you repeat. I repeat one line, you repeat it thrice, so that you can remember. This practice used to be there. When we were children, this memorizing poetries, memorizing some slokas was a part of our life, part of our culture. Now it has gone. Very few families, sometimes maybe one or two few mantras, either Gayatri mantra or Sthapakaya cha Dharmasya or Vasudeva Sutam Devam, or any few mantras children know. But it is our duty to pass it on to the next generation. Otherwise, when they will grow, they say, no, my parents never told me this. So that should not come. We do our duty, let them do their duty when they become parents. So, these priorities in life is very important. There is a permanent priority. Spirituality, spiritual life, and the responsibility to carry and pass it on to the next generation. Earlier time, I do not know, some of you, those who are little seniors, previously during marriages, especially in the tradition of Bengal, that was the practice. There were one or two books to given to the bride, how they can successfully, respectfully, lovingly live a life in the new family where they are going to join. So Many of our devotees I have seen in my this many years of monastic life is okay. Oh, the boy is getting married. Swamiji, I want to present some books to them. You people also must be doing this. Why? It's not question that by reading books they will renounce everything and go away. No. It is your duty to pass it on, not pass it on only the book, but also the wisdom. So first and foremost duty will be to acquire that wisdom, to acquire that information, to acquire those books and the knowledge of the book, and then pass it on to the next generation. Different traditions, different practices are done in India and everywhere. How people do it, I think in Bengal also I have seen a practice that after somebody passes away, maybe they will buy some 20, 30, 40 copies of Bhagavad Gita and distribute to people. This practice is there. So that can be any book, any book. I remember one gentleman, devotee, householder, he somehow understood this concept that it is my duty to do something for the society. So he was in Calcutta, and Swami Vivekananda, after starting the magazine, Udbodhan magazine, which is in Bengali, he wrote a letter to the brother disciples that I wish that this Udbodhan magazine will be read in every house of Bengal. That he says. Even Swamiji had an idea to start a newspaper, bilingual newspaper, little in Bengali, little in Hindi, wherever you are, and also in English. So bilingual newspaper on everyday basis. That's why you will find the reflection of that. There are groups, there are devotees, there are Swamis. Every day they are posting something on Facebook and on this and that and all that. It's the same, in the same line what Swamiji says. So to pass it on to the next generation, our generation have to be active in doing that, so that we do our duty, and you will feel blessed by doing that, so that we do our duty. That's how the Sanatana word came, the eternal religion. Though I have a little different idea. It's a new way of thinking. I won't say it's a new idea. Hinduism, we call it Sanatana Dharma, eternal religion. When you tell it to people of other religion, so yours is eternal religion, ours is not eternal, is it? So I started thinking and talking in this way. Sanatana Dharma means Dharma is Sanatana. The universal part of every religion is eternal. It has to be there in one way or other. So this Sanatana Dharma has this tradition, whichever way you want to practice, but it is the great responsibility of this adult Grihastha Dharma to supply, to acquire, and pass it on to the next generation, the wisdom. It could be in the form of book, it could be in form of messages, in form of photos, in form of ritualistic cultures. Some people say, oh, in our house there is a Shaligrama Shila, you have to do puja every day. So some people do. Some people say, okay, we have Shivalinga, Baneshwar Shiva, people do. Then we have many people are there, our own devotees. Every day they have a small puja at home. Somebody, whoever, one person will do puja. Without puja, the shrine will not be there. Every day little puja will be there. So the practice is have to pass it on to the next generation. So this thought came in my mind that one is the permanent priority, and second could be the relative priority. Priority according to your age, priority according to your station in life. That what you did when you were a child, you don't do when you grow up. When you grow up and do, you don't do that in your old age. So according to your age, according to your station, according to your profession also, according to your country where you live, your priorities could be little different. So this both the types of priority we must remember and then practice accordingly. So it will be nice if now we two-way discussion we do. Now till now it was one way. So if anybody has any idea in this, please share with me. I also will like to be more enlightened and enriched by some new ideas. What do you
I have a question. That when let's say in Thailand, we are living in a society which is following the Buddhist religion practices,
Yes.
and we and some of them, having read something about Vedanta or a little bit about Sri Ramakrishna or Swami Vivekananda,
Hmm.
are showing sparks of interest.
Okay.
Now, in such cases, I mean, what should be the right way to guide them in the path of attaining greater depth of understanding and better way to enrich their own path for self-realization? Is
That
there,
what?
is there
Sorry.
a is there a template, or is there a something which you can suggest?
Actually, once we talked about it, I was thinking that the life story of Sri Ramakrishna, Mother and Swamiji, sometimes it appeals only to one group of people, but the teachings, that's what Swami Vivekananda did. He said when he went to America, he preached the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna without uttering the name of Sri Ramakrishna. Because people have some reservations that, oh, we have our own prophets, why I need some other prophet? You don't need to have other prophet. So when the teachings were appreciated, they say, whose teaching, whose ideas are this? Then Swamiji told, oh, he was my master. If you want to know more about it, Swamiji is preaching for almost 5.5 years in Western countries, have given only 2 lectures on Sri Ramakrishna. So that from there I understand. If you ask me, the small books, eh, the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna or the message of Sri Ramakrishna. But I will suggest you don't change the language, but you can select which teachings you think which are appropriate for a non-Indian, a non-Hindu, Thailander, Buddhist, or other people. Those teachings you put together, because sometimes the colloquial local examples, many times foreigners don't understand that, because it doesn't come in their way of life or the culture. So you select, some of you 3 4 5 people can make a group, select some teachings, don't change the language, that's fine, but you select, and then I think they publish the small books of. And in Argentina, when I was there, though they have many books, but for free distribution, I compiled one teaching book and got it translated in Spanish. And I had a mind to publish 3 books. But if I take teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, many will not like to pick up that book. So we gave the name called Swamiji's teachings, we gave Way to Success. Mother's teachings, we gave to Way to Peace. Thakur Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, we told as Way to Divinity. So then say inside we write in bracket teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, teachings of Sri Sarvadevi, teachings of Swami Vivekananda, and then you select the teachings which the local people can understand. Local people can immediately make the meaning. I gave, say for example, all of you have seen this book, Thus Spake Swami Vivekananda, Thus Spake Sri Ramakrishna. I gave this set of books to one Chinese lady. Believe me, she came and told me, hey, this Thus Spake Swami Vivekananda doesn't make much sense to me. I said, okay, what about other two? And she found rather teachings of Holy Mother is the most practical according to her. So I feel it is not that Swamiji is not applicable to them, but the way of teaching, maybe the other people, other religion and culture is difficult to absorb. If you say too much about India, 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 they will not take. If you talk too much about Hindu, 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 they will not take. So the universal teachings you have to, all are universal for us. But one who read immediately may not feel, they may feel it comes from a person, it comes from a sect, it comes from a group. So it is your duty, seeing the mind of local people, extract some teachings and make in a small book form and just scatter it. Maybe even if you put a price, put a very small price, which is just a token, just a token. I think that is the easiest way. If you print a big book, not many readers you will get. Then you unnecessarily, if you lie down, I have seen many times, even if you print 1,000 copies, will be rotting somewhere in the storeroom, because it is difficult for people to take so much at a time. Small booklets, universal teachings, and give a beautiful name, as I told. I think that's a better way. I actually, that is in my mind to do in Mandarin also. We'll do it. I'm little busy in COVID and many things here, but we will do it. We will do it. Simple name: path to perfection, path to divinity, towards the goal supreme, and this kind of abstract titles, and put the universal teachings with the local people. And always, in my opinion, always, if I do something, it must go through the Chinese speaking people. If it is in Mandarin, you must have people, those who are Thai, people who have little appreciation for Sri Ramakrishna Mother Swamiji. It has to be passed through them, because they will be able to know, this we don't understand. Oh, this is very good, this we understand. So like this, so that the application, or the rather, it will reach out in a true sense. That's what I feel personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions? You get will anything?
So till now, traveling is not allowed.
Swamiji, I think that today we are in this room.
Yes.
We are all in not in Sannyas ashram, but we are all in one of us ashram. What would you like to direct us, on based upon today's world, right?
I think Vanaprastha Ashrama, putting together what we just now talked, because many of you are there. Your household duties you cannot escape from, but you can spend as much time as possible, one, in your own personal spiritual practice, second, in putting this goal that, okay, in the next 1 year, these 3 booklets we will bring out. So at least start compiling, then get translated, this and that. So I think, so that will be from your side to give back to the society, and your personal spiritual life, enrich yourself. And I personally feel, all of you are there, that I do not know, because I really do not know your children. But how much do you think the children are aware about the practices and the wisdom and the teachings what you are acquainted with. So I think that is important to, as they say, charity begins at home. I think religious preaching also begins at home. Eh, because after some time when you won't be there, at least your children should hold the same flag and march on. So that is very important. Every family should have one member of the next generation should slowly participate in this group, so that slowly when seniors are not there, the next generation will take over.
The reason I ask you this question is that because among Indian and Chinese, right, the word retirement doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You go away, right? Either the man or the or the retirement, right? So we
No, I think retirement in that sense, up to certain extent, it depends completely on the person. I mean, if you want to work and go to your shop and do business at the age of 85, you are welcome to do that. Nothing wrong about it. But those who have a spiritual goal in their time, when time will come when we 24/7 we will be in the thoughts of God. Until the mind is purified, this desire also will not come. So wherever we are at whatever age, to do maximum. Slowly by God's grace, if you can become that much introvert, personal spiritual practices and all that, that change will come. Sannyasa ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, there is no fixed age for that. Earlier life was different, now life is different. But student life, we can say, I studied up to diploma, you studied up to doctorate. So definitely your student life was much more. So after studying, you started a job. I joined the order. Eh? Your time came when your business flourished. You introduced your children into your business or your job or whatever. And I am told to lead one center and try to help the next generation of monks, etc. A time will come when I also want to. That everything is fine. Service is not an issue. So far as the body will move, I am ready to serve. But my mind should be completely free. From responsibility, you have to be away. Otherwise, it is difficult for you to put mind. If you are able to, there is no, it's a way of thinking. Anyway, so there is no watertight compartments of brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa. It can be little here and there. It can be here and there. So, yeah, it's okay that there is no retirement as such. But you do not do same amount of work which you did 25 years before. That's correct. So you don't completely become from grihastha to vanaprastha, but in a slow process. Slow process you become vanaprastha. That's what is told, that if this retirement is a negative term, I feel. That's why I told first I use the word called withdrawal. Withdrawing yourself from the external, all kind of obligations and duties and all that, and putting mind within yourself. Otherwise there is no end of it. And then we are very smart in blaming others, that because of that I have to do it. No, nobody has told you to do it. You want to do it, that's why you do it. So the ideas can be more clearer, and then everybody can decide on themselves what they want to do in their life.
Yes, sorry.
We have little more, 5-7 minutes more, is there?
That day I also read a very interesting interpretation about, why Makali's tongue is out.
Yes.
And it was in Gambirananji's book, I think, where he's describing Ma Sharoda's, because she was the Divine Mother herself.
Yes.
And he was explaining that, it is that she was so particular about the words that fall out of her tongue in any situation. And she was so kind that no word of hers could ever be, causing, because that was her tapasya.
Hmm.
Could you sort of tell us more, a little bit more elaboration on this?
Yeah, maybe next time.
Another analogy to this, they say that Kali had taught Vishnu, and she out of embarrassment she put it out. She kind of stepped around.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, last time I told, no? Something. So, when Swamiji first time met Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji sang two songs, two devotional songs. One which we sang last time, Mono Cholo Nijo Niketane, that is one song. The second song was Jabe Ki Hai Dinamar. So that song I will try. Jabe Ki Hai Dino Amar Bifale Choliye Jabe Ki Hai Dino Amar Bifale Choliye Achinath Divanishi Ashapatha Nirakhiye Jabe Ki Hai Dino Amar Tumi Tribhuvananath Ami Bhikhari Anath Tumi Tribhuvananath Ami Bhikhari Anath Kemone বলিব তোমায় এসো হে মম হৃদয়ে যাবে কি হে দিন আমার বিফলে চলিয়ে হৃদয় কুটির দ্বার খুলে রাখি অনিবার হৃদয় কুটির দ্বার খুলে রাখি অনিবার কৃপা করি একবার এসে কি জুড়াবে হিয়ে যাবে কি হে দিন আমার বিফলে চলিয়ে আছি নাথ দিবানিশি আশা পথ নিরখিয়ে যাবে কি হে দিন আমার. I will just tell the meaning in English. Maybe some of you may not have understood. Swamiji, when he first met, as I told, this was the second song he sang, that will my days will pass in vain, O Lord. I am looking forward in the path by which you will come to me. You are the Lord of the three worlds, and I am a poor beggar. How can I tell you to come and sit in my heart? I have kept the doors of my heart open. Will you come and pacify? Will you come and make my heart peaceful? So that is the meaning of the song. And both the songs had sent Sri Ramakrishna into Samadhi actually. And Swamiji sang, so definitely when the meaning is conveyed by the singer in the singing, then it makes difference. So okay, just wait, just 1 second. 1 second.
রাম মহারাজ আমাদের আন্তরিক কৃতজ্ঞতা ভালো লাগলো
হ্যাঁ
একটা গান শোনাবে শোনাই আমি একটা গান শোনাবো আমাদের
হ্যাঁ
একটা গান শুনে একটা কাজটা বেটারটা আমাদের
করুন
একটা গান শুরু তারপরে
এটা নয় আসলে দুদিন করেছিলেন
বিদেশে বিদেশীর বেশি ভ্রম কেন নিজ নিকেতনে কোনো চলো নিজ নিকেতনে কোনো চলো নিজ নিকেতনে সংসার বিদেশে বিদেশীর বেশি ভ্রম কেন অকারণে কোনো চলো নিজ নিকেতনে বিষয় পঞ্চক আর ভূতগণ সব তোর পর কেহ নয়াপন বিষয় পঞ্চক আর ভূতগণ সব তোর পর কেহ নয়াপন কেন চেতন ওর প্রেমে কেন চেতন ভুলেছ আপন জনে চলো চলিকে তরে সত্য পথে মন করো আরোহণ প্রেমের আলো চালি চলো অনুক্ষণ সঙ্গেতে সম্বল রাখো পুণ্য ধন গোপনে অতি চতুরে লোকমোহ আদি পথে দস্যুগণ পথিকের করে সর্বসমোষণ লোকমোহ আদি পথে দস্যুগণ পথিকের করে সর্বসমোষণ যতনে রাখো হে প্রহরী সমদম দুই জনে চলো নিজ নিকেতনে সাধু সঙ্গ নামে আছে পান্থধাম শান্ত হলে তথায় করিও বিশ্রাম পথভ্রান্ত হলে শুধাইবে পথ সে পান্থ নিবাসী জনে যদি দেখো পথে ভয়েরই আকার প্রাণপণে দিও দোহাই রাজার যদি দেখো পথে ভয়েরই আকার প্রাণপণে দিও দোহাই রাজার সে পথে রাজার প্রবল প্রতাপ সে পথে রাজার প্রবল প্রতাপ সমন ডরে যার শাসনে মন চলো চলি তরে
Okay, can all of you come in the frame? Though, no, you're okay. Okay. Yes, I can see it. Then I can take a step. and